So we will read today a verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, 10.13.5, which speaks about especially sakyaras. So it is a moment where after killing Agasura, Krishna comes on the shore of the Yamuna with his friends. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. C'est quoi l'air déjà? Je l'ai perdu. Celui-là? Aotiranyam Purinam Vayasya. Aotiranyam Purinam Vayasya. Swakeli Sampam Luduracham Parukam. Tatsharo Gandam Vitari Pratikam. Dvanim Pratidvanam Rasandrumakuram. Traduction. Translation and purport. Jai Prabhupada. My dear friends, look how this pleasant atmosphere brings the shore of the Yamuna magnificent. See how the lotuses, blooming lotuses, they attract, due to their fragrances, bees and birds, and the buzzing and the chirping. They echo amongst the beautiful trees of the forest. And here the sand is clean and soft. We must then consider this place to be the most appropriate to play our games and our pastimes. Purport. The forest of Vrindavan, such as described here by Krishna 5,000 years ago, was the same in the days of the Vaishnavacharyas, 300 or 400 years ago. Vrindavan's forest always resonates with the chirping of the birds, such as the cuckoos, the ducks, and the cranes. We find also many peacocks. Such sound, the same sound and the same mood still is vibrating today, where our Krishna Balam temple is present. Whoever visits this temple has the joy to hear the chirping of the birds, such as mentioned here. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutare Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Sarasvati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Prachachad Shatarine Panchakarpatarobhyacha Kripa Sindhu Yaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. So to put this into place, this scene, we must first understand that Krishna has different friends who have the possibility to understand him in an intimate way or more externally his feelings. That is why there are different sakas, just like the Surit sakas, for example. The Surit sakas, they have a mood of protecting Krishna. And because they are personally very close to Yashoda, because Yashoda, she gives very special instructions to her Surit sakas, since they protect in fact Krishna. While in Vrindavan, originally, there's no need for protection, but the love manifests in a way that they have weapons, spears, swords, and they protect Krishna. And Yashoda, she is always present. We must know that Yashoda is an ocean of devotion. And when all of the sakas in the morning, those who come from Barshana, of different places, they reunite every morning in the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj. And this courtyard, although it seems to be limited, it can welcome billions of people. So how is that possible? Braj is a place where intimacy is always preserved. That is why, although many people can be together, different planes, through the pastime energy, they manifest. For everyone to have an intimacy. What does that mean? That means that the places, they multiply. Krishna takes different forms, his associates take different forms, without even they are aware of it. Because if billions of people will come in the same courtyard, then we will feel drowned in the mass. But in Braj it is not possible. There's always intimacy. Each saka who sees Krishna, who sees Balaram, he sees him in a special way. Krishna gives a special darshan. He smiles to his devotee. He looks at his devotee with tears in his eyes, and he gives him his heart in such a way that each saka, he thinks, Krishna, he favors me because he sees only me. And in this special absorption, the saka then, he seems simply to be evolving on a plane where nobody else exists, because he receives completely Krishna within himself, but also outside of himself. And these two planes of meeting, it makes it that he forgets all of the situation, and he delves completely in the meeting with the beauty, the sweetness, and the qualities of Krishna. At this moment, when Krishna he sees his devotee, he sees the own feelings of love of the Lord dancing in him, for him, in fact. And so the saka, all the sattvika bhavs, they manifest to answer to that Krishna's dancing. We should never think that the sakyaras is not an elevated plane. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he said that he descended to give 4 rasas, not just Madhurya ras, but also sakya ras. The proof is that in our lineage, there are many sakas. All the associates of Mahaprabhu, many are sakas. Most of them are sakas. That is why in our lineage, sakya ras is very present. It is in our modern times that we say that it is not present. But the proof is the associates of Mahaprabhu, who was in sakya ras, they spread in a very broad way the glories of sakya ras. Certain say, for example, that Gauridas Pandit, when we worship Gauridas Pandit, we're not Rupanugas. But look, Priya Bhakti Rasarnava. To whom does he refer? To Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. All the descriptions are made from Rupa Goswami. In fact, we're all Rupanugas. Why? Because Mahaprabhu, he gave this duty to Rupa Goswami to explain all of the transcendental feelings. So since he is the receptacle of Mahaprabhu's order, all of Mahaprabhu's associates are Rupanugas. That is why these are bad understandings. So, when Krishna arrived with Balaram, Sridham, Subal, Kinkini, etc., Stoka Krishna, different wonderful associates of the Lord, they all have a special beauty. But Subal Sakha is described to be the beauty of millions of cupids. He has a special beauty amongst all of the sakas. When Krishna arrived in this place, we must understand that it is a place where he enjoys with Radharani. There's a poet, a Vaishnava poet from Braj, Brajbasi. He explains how the dust of speck of sand of Yamuna, they contain so much feelings of Krishna. Each grain of sand of the Yamuna holds the feelings of Radha and Krishna, the sound of Krishna's flute. It is explained that this mood, this atmosphere in the sand, it shines out of prem. It shines. And at night, when the moon illuminates the sweet rays of the sun that finds their substance in the feelings of Radha and Krishna, then the union of the rays of the moon and of these grains of sand manifests an atmosphere that is so special that Radha and Krishna become completely captivated by the fact to give themselves through the dancing. This place is very elevated. There's a special sound of the Yamuna, because the Yamuna is in the mood of Madhurya Ras, to unite a divine couple. So the sound is special in this place. It is a sweet love music that is so intimate. The fragrance, the smell of the lotus flowers. Since they received the sweet darshan of Radha and Krishna, of their love play, they have a special feeling. And in their desire to serve the sweet feelings of Radha and Krishna, they manifest a particular fragrance that the breeze captures. The trees, it's the same. They're just like manifestations of the feelings of Radharani, and others like manifestations of the love of Krishna. And their fruits is the result of their love. So the breeze, which is special, is expert at caressing the body of Radha and Krishna. To give them a more intimate union, they capture also the fragrance of these fruits. And all of this with the songs of the bird who are expert in glorifying the pastimes of Krishna and the sweet rays of the sun, etc., etc. Imagine yourself the atmosphere. And Krishna arrives there and he becomes completely subjugated by the remembrance of Radharani. But because certain sakas, they cannot understand everything of his amorous feelings, then he approaches the scene in a certain way. Listen, it's very interesting. My dear friends, look how this mood, this atmosphere, this pleasing atmosphere makes the bank of the river magnificent. At this moment, according to each qualification of the cowherd boys and their vision of Krishna, since Krishna is in their heart. And Krishna, according to the evolution of rasa, of the vision that they have with Krishna, then Krishna reveals himself in a particular way in one's heart. For example, Subal Sakha, since he is at the same time a manifestation of Baladev to accompany the feelings of Krishna for Radharani, and that Radhika herself, she manifests also under that form. It's a combination, in fact, of many personalities. And Sandini Sambit Ladini, and since also Subal, he receives directly Krishna's heart. In fact, this personality is enormous, that he can understand everything of the minutest feelings of Krishna, that he can directly receive the totality of Krishna's heart. So Radharani, he can see completely what Krishna tastes in the minutest details. And each one, according to his feeling, he will feel what Krishna feels, according to the intimacy of the relationship that he has with Krishna. It's not that everyone has the same vision, but as soon as Krishna, he speaks, then through his words are like the song of his flute. It's something that is extraordinary because it is filled with emotions and beauty and sweetness. And this vibration, it enters in the ears and it transports each saka in Krishna's heart, in the feeling that he receives at that moment. Then they appreciate the scene in a wonderful way. How to be insensitive to all of this? It is bad association. When we associate with materialists, nectar cannot enter. It's not possible. That is why association with the Vaishnavas must be continuous. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what did he say? We must reject asat sangha, bad association. Because when we hear material words, when we hear nectar of Krishna's pastimes, it doesn't have the desired effect. And we cannot have the heart that melts and see the scene appear within ourselves. We see this as something external, and our material feelings are stronger. This is the result of bad association. If you have love for materialist people, then you have a material heart. If you love the devotees, you obtain the heart of a devotee. It's really subtle. It's not fanaticism. It is a law. We say, tell me who you associate with, I will tell you who you are. You receive exactly the heart through your association. That is why hearing the glories of the Lord from the mouth of the devotees is the highest attainment of life. There's no higher attainment. And so Krishna, in this wonderful atmosphere, he will organize a special picnic. And this picnic, it is so special. But it is not only in this moment. It happens always in this way. Because in fact, Krishna is the life itself of the sakas, the life itself of the Brajbasis. So, when he sits down, everyone wants to be next to him. But because through his power, even without him knowing, Krishna is available to everyone. When a saka sits next to him, Krishna seems to direct himself differently. Everyone is always in front of him. So everyone puts himself around him. And even if there are different lines, everyone sees Krishna right in front of him. It is something that is so mystical. So mystical. And again, one more time, everyone thinks Krishna loves only me. Krishna has more love for me. Everything is really exclusive in Braj. Because Krishna, he wants 100% of his devotees. If you love another person, Krishna will not accept you in this group. If you love another person, Krishna will make you take birth again. Krishna wants 100%. 100%. There's this famous lila where Mother Yashoda, she was engaged with diverse preparations, and Krishna was not satisfied. He wanted his mother to be fixed just on him. So what did he do? He took a pepper, like a hot pepper of Nandamaj, and he ate it. And then he screamed, "Ah!" And then Mother Yashoda, she said, what's happening? He ate a pepper, a hot pepper. She even chastised Nanda Maharaj. How is it that you were not able to stop Krishna? And then since Krishna had the fire in his mouth, she blew in his mouth. And then he was satisfied. This is Krishna consciousness. If you're mixed bhaktas, there will be no Krishna, darshan of Krishna. There will be no attainment of Krishna. And that is why we do not progress. Because we don't search for love of Krishna. We search for another love. We cry for another love. So we need many lifetimes. Bahunam janmanamante. Many lifetimes. Many lifetimes. Because it is extremely difficult to have an exclusive devotion. For this, we need to hear, we need to serve, and have a fixity, just like a tree in the stone. It's really fixed. That doesn't mean that you cannot love the devotees, but to love Krishna, you love them. If you love the devotees for yourself, it is a material relationship, then it becomes mixed bhakti. That means you pray Krishna to have something material. Bhakti, this bhakti will not be able to attain Krishna. It is impossible. Bhaktimam Abhijanati, Krishna says only pure devotion can, through that one can attain me. That is why Krishna himself, he says, to each of his friends, he says, he sees, he gives himself, and then they have little lunch boxes in form of like a... No. It's a piece of cloth where we put the food and we attach it to the stick. Don't invent things, it is not good. Lunchbox does not exist. Because in fact this cloth, it is used also to eat. And so each one he unpacks his meal, and this meal is extremely beautiful, really beautiful, because it is special feelings. Everything is personal. Each mother, she cooked especially so that Krishna eats. They absorb themselves, all of them, in preparations, especially so that Krishna is and delighting himself. Imagine yourself when each sakya reveals this meal, the beauty of this meal. It is just like jewels, such smell, such flavor, such forms. It is perfection. It is Golok Vrindavan. There cannot be higher perfection. Even the cooks that you have, it is nothing. It is nothing. It is not even a perfect reflection. It's so low. But Krishna, when he sees this food, he can see directly how his mothers, they captivate his heart. It's very powerful because they are there. They can have Krishna's darshan even from a distance. This is proved when the gopis, they're waiting for Krishna to come back from the pasturing grounds. They can see him directly from a distance, although he's not there in front of the eyes. Krishna can reveal his darshan in any situation. They're there. They feel. It is the moment. Krishna sees my heart. It's really special. The sakas, no, they know all of this. They have a relationship with their mother that is very deep. It is their pleasure. And they taste the food. They taste it first. And what do they say? Oh, Krishna, it's so wonderful. I never ate such an extraordinary thing. Open your mouth. And then he gives his remnants to Krishna. And Krishna, he takes two nectars. The nectar of the mothers and nectar of his friends. And Krishna becomes completely intoxicated by such feelings. This is Braj. It's not the small love. But if you have a bad association, then there's no taste. Even if you hear, it cannot enter. That is why we must associate ourselves properly through hearing, through studying, through service, through the fact of chanting, taking prasadam. Srila Prabhupada, he organized all of our life so that we can associate ourselves with Krishna. All. Everything is made for this. It is us who come out of Prabhupada's teachings. It is us. But Prabhupada never spoke about anything else but this. That is why we don't develop pure love. It is because since we do not have this interest for Krishna, because we spend so many lifetimes in matter, then that's difficult. We need Maya at a certain degree. And that is why we mixed our devotion. It is because we have desires. If we would be absorbed only in the Krishna's Leelas, we wouldn't have any other activities. Why do we have other activities? We have nothing to do with the teachings of the Acharya. It is because we don't have this taste. So, due to our previous lives, we keep a material taste. And naturally, we will engage it. But, out of the mercy of the pure devotee, if a pure devotee authorizes us to do something, the authorization has to come from him and not from us. Then we can purify this imperfection. And at one moment there will only be Krishna left. And then we'll be able to absorb ourselves 24 hours a day on Krishna's sweet Leelas. This is, if you read Harinam Chintamani, where Srila Haridas Thakur, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, through the mouth of Haridas Thakur, he depicts perfection. It is the absorption in Krishna's Leelas. And what is really mystical is that when we obtain this perfection, it's not that we stop acting. Prabhupada, for example, he was preaching, and we cannot say that he didn't see the sweet Leelas of Krishna. One time a disciple told him, Prabhupada, what does Krishna do right now? He said, now he's sitting. Prabhupada could see. Because when the heart is pure, then we can see Krishna's sweet Leelas. We can even be called and do two things differently. One externally and one internally. In our spiritual body, we will serve as we do something else with the material body. It is up to that point. It is not simply that we go into a hut and we try to chant to attain that. It is not like that. We don't attain success in this way. We attain success when the pure devotee and Prabhupada are satisfied with us. This is the mystery. And that is why the absorption in the service of the pure devotee is the key for success. On our own, it is not possible to attain Krishna. We can just have a shadow of Krishna, but not receive our eternal form. That is not possible. This is the law. That is why Krishna in the Adi Purana, he says, the one who thinks to be my devotee directly, he is not truly my devotee. It is only the one who is the devotee of my devotee that is my devotee. And even in the 11th canto, he says, my true worship is the one of my devotee. To that point, that is why, when the moment becomes mature for ripe for pure devotion, we develop love for Krishna, for the Vaishnava. It's really important. And at that moment, we can feel these scenes, we'll be able to see and even be introduced. Hare